Hey everyone, welcome. Dominic here with the Catholic Homeschool Neighborhood, and excited to be joined by Jonathan Buzza. Welcome, Jonathan. I'm sorry, Jordan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Very good. Where are you calling from, Jordan?
I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. So Jordan is the director of CMF Curo. CMF Curo is a Catholic healthcare apostolate. It helps Catholics live out their faith in healthcare by assisting members in the sharing of their medical costs, ensuring they receive the care they deserve in line with their dignity from God, and by being pro-life. So we're going to dive into a story here from Jordan so that we get to meet him a little bit. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about CMF Curo and how it relates and how it supports homeschool families maybe, and then we'll wrap with last little thought. For those who have not seen the neighborhood before, it's a interview series to introduce you to people and businesses and companies out there that support your homeschooling mission. I am a second generation homeschool dad, and the goal is to share with you proven tools and vetted resources and just the enthusiasm that helps you build your online Catholic neighborhood. So, let's play our Alrighty, Jordan, lead us with a short story. What's something about yourself that's maybe surprising or interesting that people don't know about you?
Sure. You had mentioned, right, to share something like this. And when I was thinking about it, I've heard so many witty, interesting sort of responses people will give to something like this. And I'm not that witty and interesting to be able to pick some of those up. In the end, right, I'm a Catholic husband and father. I'm trying to lead my family to heaven, and ultimately life in God is the most interesting thing in the world, right? It's an adventure. So anything that's interesting is really about me, I think, is coming from him. And, if I'm really, I guess, forced to give an answer, I have a fantasy football draft tonight, and I have no idea who I'm going to pick or what I'm supposed to do with that. So I guess that's maybe a little interesting.
I have absolutely no idea how that fantasy football works. In like 30 seconds, like, what is it? How does it work?
Yeah. The idea is, you play in a sort of a league with your other friends who have their own teams, and you draft players from around the NFL, and you want to get good players who play the game well, and there's a point scoring system based on how they perform, and you're competing against your friends. It's a little friendly competition. I really use it to keep in touch with the friends that I had growing up, and that as we age, we have our families. It's hard to stay in touch, so this sort of gives us a reason to connect.
Well, that's fun. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you use the word adventure. Life in God is an adventure. And let's tell us about CMF Curo and what it is you do and what it is. But I'd love to find out how is this helping you live your adventure, and what is that?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start. What is CMF Curo? Tell us, what is the mission there?
Sure. Right. And like you said in the introduction, right, we're a healthcare ministry, healthcare apostolate, and the CMF in CMF Curo, it's a long name, but that CMF stands for the Christ Medicus Foundation. That's really our parent organization. It's helpful just to understand a little bit about them before we even talk about Curo, right? Because Curo is kind of a program of Christ Medicus. Okay. Christ Medicus has been working for more than 20 years protecting conscience and religious freedom in healthcare, so that as Catholics, we're able to practice medicine and receive care in line with our dignity, but also building up Catholic healthcare options, right? So that we're not just protecting the right to practice healthcare in line with our faith, but so there's actually options out there for us, right? So CMF Curo is really a healthcare option that allows us to live our faith in healthcare. It's here to make sure that we have a way of sharing our medical costs with others, right? So when we get sick, when we get hurt, when we're pregnant, we're able to share our medical costs with other families. And we work with one of the largest Protestant ministries doing this. Good partner, really helps us to get out to a lot of people. But we're making sure that, we're not paying for anything we disagree with morally, that we have a way to share our medical costs with other people. So there's a way to get those bills paid, but also so that we're looking at healthcare as more than just a financial transactional type of issue. I don't get healthy by paying an insurance premium. It doesn't actually help me be the person that God wants me to be, right? We are, both physical and spiritual beings, right? We need to live an integrated life, taking care of our health in all aspects. So our ministry is really seeking to change kind of the paradigm. It's almost like a metanoia in healthcare, where we're not thinking about it in the way that we've always thought about it, but we're seeking to help people to be fully alive, to be healthy, spiritually, mentally, and physically, right? And really, God is the healer, right? Even when natural means are used, when a doctor helps us to find healing, it's still ultimately coming from God. So, at the very core, our mission, we're seeking to really make it so that we're inviting God into our healthcare in a way that we don't today, so that the healing He wants to provide, His love, is really able to operate in the healthcare space.
I like that. I like tying it into the bigger picture. So, okay, so that being the case, what kind of person is your program for? And in our case, particularly homeschoolers, maybe, is there a particular kind of person that this works really well for? And can you walk us through that?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously we're a Catholic ministry. We do have some Orthodox members, right? Because they really don't have any other option, but they can agree to sort of our statement of belief, So, but really we're a Catholic ministry. There's a few others that aren't, but we really see it working very well in a couple of different situations, and that's, I don't want to limit ourselves really either, but the people who really love our ministry and love what we do and are longtime members, they're on board with us mission, the mission that we have first and foremost, right? They want to get out of the healthcare system that's paying for things they disagree with, right? They don't want their funds going towards abortion, contraception, these types of things. And obviously, I'm going to guess basically 100% of your audience wouldn't want to pay for those things either, so there are practical considerations, right, that need to be made too, for people when they're making their healthcare decision. So in that, right, most people's healthcare is tied to their employment. Their employer is sponsoring their healthcare, paying a varying degree of portion of that healthcare for them. What we will see is people who don't get employer-sponsored healthcare. A lot of our members are in that situation, or they're in a situation where the working spouse gets healthcare, but it's too expensive for them to add the rest of the family. So they need something else for the rest of the family, and they end up coming to us. Nice. And again, I don't want it to limit it and say that, if you're getting a really great employer plan, that, CMF Curo is not for you, because I don't think that's the case. I think we all need to be discerning what we're supporting, what we're putting our money towards. So, if I'm in a position where I can actually make a switch out of something that's supporting a culture of death, really, and I have the ability to do that, that's something to discern, if I can actually do that.
Nice. Well, good. What do people need to do to get it, to sign up for it? Like, what does that process look like?
Yeah. Really the goal of our ministry is always to help people, right? We're not trying to go out there and just sign everybody up and then find out, we're actually not helping everybody who signed up. Okay. So you can sign up, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Right. You can sign up just by going to our website, but we really like to talk to you about how it all works, making sure that, you understand how this is going to be really helpful for you, and also how it's different from what you're probably used to make sure that, you're comfortable with that. And then it works for your situation. So you can just sign up through our website, cmfcuro.org. But we really would love to speak with you just to make sure it's a good fit for your family.
Nice. Well, I love the fact that there is that There's that personal touch, the personal evaluation. You'd have your questions answered. That's awesome. Anything particular that you sort of haven't addressed that maybe I could have asked that you'd like to talk about for CMF Curo? Because then you guys are involved in, like, you do a ton. Anything that you'd like people to know?
Yeah, I think this can just be a better way for healthcare, and it sort of touched on this earlier. It's not just this financial transaction, that you set and forget for your, on a monthly basis. This is about trying to help somebody to really be fully alive and who God wants them to be, but you're also supporting a culture of life, right? Mentioned the Christ Medicus Foundation earlier. They're doing a lot of really good work helping to build up Catholic clinics and to get people options for care, the actual reception of care, in line with our faith and belief, right? And they're advocating for rights of conscience so that Catholic medical professionals, instead of being forced out of the field because they won't prescribe or perform procedures that undermine human dignity, helping to protect those people, right? So even just by being part of CMF Curo, you're really helping to build up Catholic healthcare and protect life and dignity through your membership. And honestly, we want that personal touch, that personal relationship with our members to be better than anything else you can get out there, where you're not alone when you're facing a really difficult situation, whether you're running to the emergency room or somebody has a terrible diagnosis. We're here to walk with you and to love you, to care for you, and to give you the care that you deserve.
Beautiful, Jordan. So, given that this is our Catholic Homeschool Neighborhood show, let's wrap with what would be a top message that you would like to share, kind of, from your heart, or something that inspires you, that you'd like homeschool families, perhaps around the world, to know?
Yeah. We'll be praying, for this community in particular, because what you're doing for your families is just so important. Through our work, we see so many different ways that our faith and our beliefs are being undermined. And for you as a family to take a stand to make sure that what your children are hearing and taking that responsibility, whether somebody sends their kids to school or not, we're all called to be the primary educators of our children, but really taking that responsibility very seriously. We think that's just so incredibly important in shaping our culture, because that the idea of children are the future. 20 years from now, our kids are going to be running things. So yeah, we're praying for you. What you're doing is so important for helping to build a culture of life, and in facing a lot of the things about our society and our culture that are negative. So thank you, and we're praying for you.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. Thank you, Jordan. And for those who are watching and catching this replay, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with the one friend that you think would really like to see it, or perhaps learning about CMF Curo would be helpful to them. Then come and join us in the free Catholic homeschool community on CatholicHomeschoolCommunity.com. Thanks again, Jordan. Thanks again for everybody who's watching. God bless you, and we will see you in the neighborhood.
God bless.